You spray first and ask questions later. It's the most natural move in the world. Whether you see an ant trail cutting across your garden beds or a line crossing your kitchen counter, you grab the can and you kill it. Job done, except it isn't. What you just did might be the reason you have more pests next week than you do today. Here's the part almost nobody tells you. The ants you can see are never the problem. They're maybe 1% of the colony. The queen, the nursery, the real infestation, all of that is somewhere you can't reach, behind a wall, under a slab, or deep in a mound out in the yard. So when you spray the ants on your counter or the trail running along your garden path, you're not treating the infestation. You're just wiping a whiteboard clean while the meeting keeps happening in the next room. And here's where it gets worse. If you've also put down bait, which is genuinely the one product built to solve this, spraying near it can undo everything the bait was doing. The University of California's own pest management program is blunt about this. Perimeter sprays reduce bait effectiveness, and on occasion, they make the infestation worse by trapping ants indoors instead of driving them out. This is especially well documented with Argentine ants, the species responsible for most of the ant trails you'll find winding through California gardens and into homes, and it applies equally to fire ants building mounds in your lawn. You bought the cure, and then you sprayed disinfectant on it. There's another layer to this in the garden that most people never consider. Ants don't just wander through your plants randomly. They're often farming aphids, protecting them from predators in exchange for the honeydew those aphids produce. Spray the ants, and you've done nothing about the aphids they'll be back to tend tomorrow. The two problems are one problem, and a can was never going to solve either of them. The same sabotage plays out with roaches, and this part is fresh. In 2024, researchers testing the exact sprays sitting in American garages, the Pyrethroid cans marketed for baseboards and cracks, found something homeowners don't expect. Fresh spray killed roaches on contact just fine, but once it dried into a residue, which is the entire point of a residual spray, it lost almost all of its punch. The surface where it failed hardest was painted drywall, which is to say, your actual baseboards. You're not spraying a shield, you're spraying a coat of paint that used to be poison. Every can you empty is a filter, not a wipeout, and that's the real reason this keeps happening. The individuals with a little natural tolerance survive, and they breed. Their offspring inherit that tolerance, and sometimes more than that. A Purdue study on cockroaches found resistance jumping 4 to 6-fold in a single generation, and the survivors weren't just tough against the chemical you used. They picked up resistance to chemicals they'd never even been exposed to. You're not killing the population, you're auditioning it for its toughest version. This isn't a fringe theory pest companies use to upsell you. It's serious enough that California's pesticide regulator just opened a formal investigation into consumer bug bombs, the foggers you set off and leave a room for. Their own numbers show 391 reported illnesses from these products between 2018 and 2024. Not because the foggers are too strong, but because they're strong in the wrong places, coating your kitchen counters in residue while the pests hide exactly where the fog never reaches. Here's what actually works when spraying is the trap. Stop treating what you can see and start treating what you can't. If you're using bait, for ants, for roaches, for anything with a colony behind it, that bait needs to be the only weapon in the fight. Outdoors, that means placing bait stations along active trails and around the garden perimeter, not spraying the same areas. No spray anywhere near it, and no wipe down counter with disinfectant right after either, because you'll strip the scent trail the bait relies on. The active ingredients doing the real work in those baits, compounds like Fipronil and Boric acid, are designed to be carried back to the nest slowly. Let the slow bait get carried home and let it reach the queen. That's the only part of this fight you were never able to win with a can. Seal what you can seal. Entry points, cracks, gaps under doors, every one you close is one less place the colony can rebuild from, and it costs you nothing in resistance. And if you do need a knockdown spray, use it far from any bait and treat it as a stopgap, not a strategy. It buys you a clean counter for a day. It was never going to buy you a pest-free house or a garden the colony doesn't return to next season. The mistake was never that you wanted to fight back. It's that the fastest tool in your hand was working against the slowest, most effective one you had, and you didn't know it until now.